Dạ. that to everyone in the education value chain. So we're making reference to everyone in the education value chain. So the AI-enabled teachers community actually exists to empower educators with cutting-edge skill sets and knowledge in artificial intelligence and its application to the world of education. So you can see the AI-enabled teacher as leveraging artificial intelligence to enable effective teaching and learning and understanding the education space. So this community is on Facebook. We're currently live streaming to the community page on Facebook. So if you search on Facebook for AI-enabled teachers of Nigeria, you will see the community on Facebook, and we want to ask you to do well to like and follow follow us on that page on Facebook, so that you'll also get detailed information of everything that is happening as we continue as well. So very quickly, I'm going to be talking about our speaker, meet our speaker. I know, yes, he took us in a session last week, but again, this is just for us to meet our speaker. Our speaker is Mr. Muyiwa Badara. He's a talented individual with a diverse skill sets. He holds a bachelor degree in physics and has a passion for both science and technology. He's a data scientist and is very proficient in Python programming language, SQL, and Microsoft Excel. So he has been a physics teacher for over 4 years, sharing his knowledge and expertise with students. He's also an active member of the International Society for Data Science and Analytics, as well as he's one of our core community members at Data Science Nigeria. Beyond his academic and professional achievement, he has a visionary goal to enhance learning, leveraging AI and digital skill. He's very committed to education and innovation, making him a valuable asset in the field, which is also one of the reasons why we are bringing him to you, because he sits at the intersection where there's a synergy between education, artificial intelligence, as well as data analytics and data science. So there's no any other best person we could bring who has an understanding of the industry, as well as and also has an understanding of the technology, and then can combine both together so that it can deliver value and you can see where there's a match. So please, with clapping, with fire emoji, with thumbs up and all in the chat section, let us welcome this evening Mr. Muyiwa Obadara. Let's welcome Mr. Muyiwa. I'll stop sharing so that he can share his screen while I keep tracking in the group. Okay, yes, I can see some people just coming in. Susie, you're welcome from Edo State. Rukaya Musa, you're welcome. Yeah, I can see the fire emoji. Yeah, thank you, thank you. Let's welcome our tutor, Tejmola. Thank you. Akinshola, I can see. Thank you. Who else? Yes. Let me see the fire emoji. Let's see the fire emoji as we welcome our tutor. Yes, Aishat Ahmed. Thank you. Afsat, thank you. Mr. Muyiwa, you're welcome, sir. Please, you can unmute and take over.
All right. All right. Good evening, sir. Good evening, everyone. How has been our day? How has been our weekend? Thank God it's Friday. We are all happy. This is a beautiful Friday evening. It's raining everywhere right now. Yes. So we are going to continue from where we stopped last week. We are going to continue from, firstly, I'll be sharing my screen. Is everyone seeing my screen now?
Yes, I can see your screen.
All right. So, as the facilitator, Mr. Omotaya just said, as a form of reminder, let us talk about this event on our various social media platforms, on LinkedIn, on Facebook, on Instagram, on TikTok, on Twitter, on Telegram with these hashtags. All right. Today, we are going to continue from what we had last week about, I remember we talked about Microsoft Excel. We introduced ourselves to Microsoft Excel. We talk about cell, that each cell has a unique address. Each cell is made up of a row, number, and a codon alphabets. All right, and we talk about cell referencing. We used our knowledge last week to build a prototype, a skeleton of a Mark's book, which we are going to continue today. So today firstly, we are going to be reversing what we did last week. Then we go to functions, then we go to formulas, then we go to tabular data, and then pivot tables, which is very, very important for data to summarize data. All right. If you if there's anyone that missed the last class, you can make a screenshot right now or scan the code on the screen, which is going to lead you to the YouTube videos that were YouTube video that was streamed last week. The last week's lesson is available there. It was streamed live on YouTube. Now, leaving this screen now for anyone to scan the code or make a screenshot. All right. Last week, we also talked about data validation. Yes, data validation. It's a mechanism that protects our it's a mechanism that protects our data sets. It will not enable us to input wrong the wrong value when we are not supposed to input the wrong value. It will enable us not to give a student the wrong mark or a mark that is greater than the required range. For instance, we all know that our CA is 40 and our examination is 60. Imagine me giving a mark of 42 to a student in the CA column. It is not nice. It is a costly mistake. So it is very, very important that we protect our data and we validate it. All right. Okay. Today we are going to continue with function. Now, a function in Microsoft Excel is just a predefined procedure or a sequence of process. Also, the way function is in other programming languages is called a subroutine. It's a list of sequence that has been packaged into something I will call a machine that accepts an input and produces an output. You supply an input to your function, and the function gives you an output. All right. A function as a machine must have a definite name. Yeah. A function must have a definite name, and two functions in the same workspace cannot have the same name. It's not possible for me to have a function, maybe average, and another different function, which is also named average. It is not going to work in programming. So a function must have a unique name. All right. Yes, and I said that a function is analogous to a machine which accepts one or more inputs to give a unique output. The output is always one. Or if it will be a multiple output, the multiple outputs will be packaged in parentheses as a list, as a set, but it can accept multiple inputs to give an output. It is like mapping in mathematics. A mapping always gives a unique value. There is always a unique value in the output, but the set of input value can have different elements. All right. Now, in Microsoft Excel, we have function. A function has a name. In order for you to supply the input to your function, you use parentheses. After typing the function name, you open a left bracket, supply your inputs, and close the brackets. All right, for instance, you can see the sum function on the screen. The effect of the sum function is to sum whatever number that is supplied to it. In this case, as you are seeing on the screen now, I have 2, 3, and -1. What I'm going to do here is the function is here to add these numbers. 2 plus 3 is 5 plus -1, which is 4. All right. Now, the return value, the value I'm going to get out of this function, which is the output in programming, is called a return value. Then the set of inputs in programming or in Microsoft Excel are called arguments. Now, when we check the documentation of our Microsoft Excel or we browse online to check how a function is being used, or as we are going to see now, there are optional arguments. They are always listed in square braces or square bracket, as you are seeing in front of me right now. The arguments are separated by commas, like the first argument, like for instance, 2, comma. The space is not necessary, but I like it that way. It's good. It makes your programming, your code, your work, it makes it very clean. So it's good to always have space after each comma. All right. This three dots signifies that you can have as many functions as possible if it's for the documentation of that particular function. Then this indicates an optional arguments. All right. We are now going to go to our workspace and play with a function. But last week, I did not um I did not talk about sheets, what a sheet is and what a workbook is. Now, I'm going to talk about that. Now, this is an Excel file. The file itself is a workbook. In a workbook, we can have many sheets. For example, at the lower left here, there's a sheet named pivot example. There is another sheet named bar data, and there is another sheet named class bar data. All right. Now, this is another sheet, another blank worksheet. Nothing is there. This is a sheet. This is another sheet. You can rename your sheet by double-clicking on it and typing any name. This is a name, DSN. All right. Now, I have 4 worksheets here packaged in what is called a workbook. The workbook is always 1. For each Microsoft Excel file, the workbook is always 1. At the upper part here, the upper part of my Microsoft Excel, you are going to see what a workbook is. Yeah, this whole thing I'm moving around now is a workbook. This whole stuff I'm moving around is called a workbook. All right. Now, I want to introduce you to what a function is. Now, before we practice, for instance, let us start this way. Assuming at this point, this cell with address C2, of course, this address C2, I want to sum some numbers, integers. All right. I know for sure right now that there is a function named sum. It is a predefined function. It's already in the program. I don't have to define it. It's already the machine has been prepared. The subroutine has been prepared for me by Microsoft to use. So the first thing I'm going to do is to type the equality sign. Yes, to type the equality sign. Then with starting with the sum, SU, you see that immediately I typed S, the program begins to show the name of some functions that starts with what? That starts with S. All right. I can choose to scroll down and go in alphabetical order to check for some. All right. If I hit the enter key, it will be there for me. But no, that's not what I want. I can type it by myself. All right. SUM. Then after the function name, I open a bracket. You see that immediately I open the brackets, there is a description, there is a guide for me that explains how I'm going to use the function. This is telling me that the first number, number 1, is compulsory. Then the second number is what? Is optional, ... and so on and so forth. That means at least I must have one number, I must have one argument. All right, let me try that with one argument and see. Sum 8 and enter is 8. That's all, nothing to sum again. It's all right. Somebody is raising his hand. Mr. Lucky.
Please, Mr. Lucky, whatever question you have, please just share it in the chat section. We'll pick it up.
All right, sir.
Thank you. So that
Okay. All right.
someone is saying they can't see the screen. If you can't see the screen, I want to believe it's your network. So you may need to share it. Yeah, you may just need to look at your network. Thank you. Please continue, Mr. Manuel.
All right, sir. Okay. Now we have some. We are trying to add some a set of numbers. All right. Now this is 8. There's nothing more to add.
All right,
Okay.
Mr. Muiwa, sorry, we're not seeing the Excel sheet. Okay, now understand with the Excel sheet you're working on. What we're seeing is the PowerPoint presentation on some common functions. We're not
Okay.
seeing it itself. Yes. So you may need to reshare and then just walk us through again. Thank you.
Okay. Screen sharing has stopped. All right. Okay. Hmm. All right. Hello, sir.
Yes, we can see the Excel sheet now. You
All
can see
right. Now I started with this. I want to clear my screen. All right. I said that I'm using the sum function as an example. In order to start a function, to use a function, you are going to start by pressing the equality sign, equality key beside your backspace. All right. Then I want to type the sum function. Of course, immediately I start typing the name, immediately I type S, I begin to see, yes, I begin to see a list of function that starts with S. Assuming I typed A, then it gives me the names of function that starts with A and so on. All right, but because I already know that there is a function named sum, SUM, I may not need to scroll down, just type SUM and I open a brackets. Now, yeah, I see that the number 1, it's written in bold, emphasized. After that, I have the second number 2. It's written in square brackets. This means that the first number is compulsory. There must be an agreement, at least one, while the remaining numbers are optional. Now, that's the meaning that the first number, at least one, I must have one number to sum. Now, I want to demonstrate this with one number, 8. Sorry, oops. This is 8. All right. Now, if I want to sum 8 and hit the enter key, I just have 8. Sum 8 and that's all. 8 is 8, nothing more to add. All right. I want to do this with some set of numbers. SUM 1, 2, 3. I'm expecting 6 from this. Then close the bracket. Then I have 6 that way. Then another set SUM 23, 27, 0.5. This should be 50.5. Yes, this is 50.5. All right, so we can combine any type of different types of number. We can combine integers, we can combine strings. Sorry, we can combine floats with integers. Yes, for the string type, we are going to use the concatenation function, which I'm going to explain later with the project I have. All right, this is how to use a function. And notice something. The function I typed here, for each cell, you see the formula that generates each output in the formula bar up here, this up above here. On top of the column names, there is a space here, is the formula bar or the formula editor. If your own looks like this, fine. Just come to the end here, the right side of it, there is a small arrow. When you click on it, it's going to expand the formula bar for you so that you can type in multiple lines. So maybe you don't want to type in a straight, the formula is too long. It's going to wrap around the second, the third line, and so on, like that. All right. So I want to leave it open. Okay. I want to demonstrate this function with another, if this topic with another function, maybe average, AVARAGE. All right. Average. Now, at least also the same thing. At least one number is compulsory. Okay. Now I want the average of 1, 2, and 3. All right, the average of this should be 2. Yes, of course, this is 2. So what's going on? This is the arithmetic mean of three numbers. 3 plus 2 plus 1, that is 6. 6 divided by 2 is 6 divided by 3 is 2, because I have three numbers in the lists. And with our formula for arithmetic mean, that is summation x all over n. All right. There are several other functions. All right. They are going back to our our going back to our function now. There are several other functions here. Yeah. We have the I don't know if can you see my screen? Hello, sir.
We're seeing the slide presentation on your
Okay,
screen.
slide. All right, sir. All right. There are several other functions. We have the count function. The count function is used to count the number of observation in a data set. Maybe if you want to count the number of rows or the number of columns. I've spoken about the sum. Then there is also a conditional sum. Most of these functions in Excel, in Microsoft Excel, they have conditional version. If you want the function to be applied to some values that satisfy some functions, we have conditional sum. For instance, you only want to sum the score of students that passed, or the sum of students that scored above a particular range. Maybe you are only interested in those that scored above 70. Yes, you use the sum if function. Or you want to take the average of, of the female students in the class. You use the average. So average if the person is if in the gender column, if the column equals to male, average their scores. Let me see the scores of the female gender separately, then the scores of the male gender separately. And there's also an if function. In programming, this if is a keyword, but here it is a function. It is used to check for condition. The max function, as the name implies, it's used to find to get the maximum of a list of numbers. If you have a list containing many numbers that you cannot figure out the maximum, you apply the max function. Same also the min function. Then the rank.eq function. There is a version of this called rank. That is the old version. It's becoming duplicated. Now we have rank EQ. It's used to calculate. Maybe you want to do the position of your students on your MacBook, first, second, third, fourth, fifth, like that. You get their position using the rank function. And the rank average is used whenever you have two students scoring exactly the same mark. Now, and you don't want to give second or third position. Then you find the rank average is going to compute the average of the two rank and give you like the way you do your median. Then the concat function or concatenate is used to join two texts together. If you want to join your first name and your last name, your surname and other names, maybe they are recorded in the different columns and you don't want to, maybe your HM or your principal asks you to type it together. You don't want to start typing it one by one. There is a formula for that. There is a function for that that is going to do that for you. All right. Okay. Now, I want to talk about formulas before we go into the practical section. Most people don't know the difference between formulas and function. This one I have on my screen and many more. They are called functions, but a combination of functions is called a formula. A formula is made up of two or more functions which are combined by the mathematical operators. For instance, when you want to sum, assuming you want the sum of 2, 4, and 5, which is 5 plus 4 is 9 plus 2, 11, plus the maximum of -1, 23, and 5. We know that the sum of the first part of this is 11 plus 23, that gives 34. Now, we have two functions here, the sum function and the max function, but it is joined together by the plus sign. So everything together as an expression is called
So
a
we're
formula.
not seeing your sheet. We're seeing the presentation, the slide.
Yes, sir. I'm not sharing the
All right.
sheet
Okay.
yet.
Just to be sure. Okay.
All
Thank you.
right. So this is how the formula works. You can use the mathematical operator for this. We have the addition, the same way it is in mathematics. Addition is the plus sign, subtraction, multiplication, division. There's no division sign on the keyboard. You use slash. And I want to talk about this power. This is like a caret sign or inverted V. It is not double star in other programming languages. In Microsoft Excel, it is inverted V, the way it is this way. So let's go to the sheets and play with the, so let's go to the sheet now and play with the functions and formula. All right. Okay. I'm going to create a data set right now. I'm going to have, for instance, I have serial number. Now with what I said last week, I'm going to create 5 lists. Serial number 1, 2. And if you remember from last week, I said that what we are going to do is that the system is intelligent to understand that we want to count in the natural number. So pulling this small dot here, it's going to give you a list in order. All right, 6, 7, 8. I think 8 is okay. All right, now let me call this maybe student ID. Student ID, and I give myself some ID. Maybe one this some random ID, and we know that the IDs must be unique for each student. All right. All right. Now, I'm going to clear this away. Then maybe score in English. The score in English language is in percentage. That is 78. This I have this. I have this. I have this. This and this. Sorry. 7. Okay. Now then maths. This is mathematics. Sorry. I want to make it in percentage. Right. What's going on with my key? But okay. So I have 78. Sorry. Okay. Now I have this. Now, in order for us to calculate it's not on our various report sheets, we used to have something called class highest mark, class lowest mark, and class average mark. Yes, and total. Okay, I want to do something here called total. Let me put total here. Total. All right. Now, for this column, now I want to find the total of each score. This is a text score. Assuming this is UTME now over 400, but this will be over 200. All right. Okay, I want to get the total of the English column and the maths column. Now, we know that the address of this column here is C. This particular one is C2. This one I'm talking, the address of this is C2, and the address of this is D2. The reference C2 and D2. So what I'm going to do is I want to sum them together by using a function, of course, equals to SUM. Now, in this case, I'm not going to put numbers. I'm going to use a reference, cell reference. It is called cell reference. I want to sum what I have in this column here, C2 and D2. All right, so C2, comma, D2. Yes, you can see that immediately I type the address of the cell, it is being selected, highlighted in blue and highlighted in red. C2, comma, D2, then I close the bracket and I hit the enter key. So this student score 156 all over 200. The student with ID 234. All right. Now, we can see that the function that generates this 156 is written out in the formula bar. It's written out in the formula bar. Okay. Now, I don't want to type this for the remaining parts of the sheets. If this is a very long sheet and it's a very big data set, what I just did is that I come here and this small dot here, this fill dots, I click on it, drag it down, and release the mouse key. All right, then the Excel is smart enough to be able to understand that if this is row 2, then this goes to row 3, C3, D3, then this goes to row 4, this goes to row 5, C5, D5, C6, D6, C7, D7, C8, D8, and C9, D9. All right, I may want to format this column to make it stand out by just Control B for bold. All right, I may want to make it stand out like bold. Yes. Okay, that's it. Okay, there's something called class um, highest mark, class lowest mark, and class average mark. Now, as a English teacher, I want to know the highest mark, highest score in English. I want to know the lowest score in English, and I want to know the average score per student in English. So this is what I do for English. I may say that English, for the English, then of course, no, let me do it this way. Let me put it in front. I'm going to clear this. Okay, this is highest mark, then lowest mark, and average mark. I'm typing this. Then for the English, then for the mathematics. Now, what I'm going to do is that for this one now, I'm going to use the max function equals to max, open brackets, then where is the English column? This is it. There's another thing that you can do here, which I did not tell you last week. I want the I want to get the maximum of all the scores between C2, C3, C4, C5, C6, C7, C8, C9. Since they are on the same column, I may not list all the addresses like C2, comma, C3, comma, C4, comma, C5, C6, C7, C8, 8, and C9. I'm going to use a range. This is how it works. C2, column, like ratio, column, shift, column, C2, column, C9. Then close the bracket and enter. Now, this is it. Looking at the address, looking at the formula bar, this is maximum of any data between C2 and C9. Then it is smart enough to know that I'm talking about numbers that belongs to this range. Now, the maximum, the highest score in the English column for English is 89. Let me do the same thing for minimum. I have mean equals to mean, open the bracket, C2 colon C9 and close the bracket. And sorry, there's an error. Yes. One thing about Microsoft Excel is that um, it's not like other programming languages like C or Python, whereby you are going to read error messages. Sometimes you may find it hard to get where the error is coming from. So we have to be very careful. C2 column C9. All right, then I've captured it. Yes. Wow, I have someone that scored 6. Okay, no problem. Now, and the average, that is equals to A V E R A G E. Then of the same thing, C2 column C9. Sorry, C9. Yes. Sorry. There's an error. I will C2. Okay, I've gotten the error. C2 column C9. What's going on? Average C2 column. Okay. C2 column C9. I have C9. Okay. Yes, and it worked. So the average is 71. All right. Now, I want to try something else now. I can see that this is English. This is mathematics. This is also English. This is also mathematics. As long as English is to the left of mathematics here, mathematics is to the right of English. The same way mathematics is to the right of English here. What if I do something like this and I pull this field sideways? What actually happened is that you can see that this, when I select this cell, here it was C2, C9, C2, C9, C2, C9 for this column C. This is now column D, and I have D2, D9, D2, D9, D2, D9. Now, this is like a summary statistics for our results, which I can also try to format. I I spoke about this last week. We discussed this last week about formatting border. I can choose to wrap it in a border and present it to my headmistress. I can give it any formatting. I can put a background. Yes, this is our summary data now for these results. Now, what happened here when I put this to the other side is that the Excel is smart enough to copy whatever formula I have here to the other side based on the fact that what I need is also on the right. The column I need there, it's also on the right of the previous column. The same way here, so it will work. Now, that's why they said data scientists should give attention to detail. We have to be very consistent and be careful and be very careful. I actually did it on purpose. So English, mathematics is to the right of English here. The same way mathematics is to the right of English here. It makes our work very easy and fast. Now, assuming I have other summary statistics, maybe Q1, Q2, Q3, counts. In fact, I want to count the number of students. COUNT. So equals to count between what? C2 colon C9. Yes, between C2 colon C9. Yes. Of course, we know that we have eight students. One, two, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have eight. This is 9 minus 1, 8. This is the header. Of course, if I pull it, yes, I'm going to have eight. Yes, like that. So I can also choose to find Q1, lower first quartile, Q3, and interquartile range. Yes, if it is a very large data set. And we know that normally we always want our scores to follow the normal distribution so that we'll be able to calculate the percentile. Maybe 50% of the students score above a particular score or score lower than a particular score. 75% of the students score lower than a particular score. All right, that's that about formula and function. Now, I want to go to tabular data. All right. Okay. Now, this is a data set I prepared earlier today. I put dummy names like John Doe. Then I have applied various functions. I actually typed all this name, but this full name I did not type it. What I did, I used look at the formula bar, concat, whatever I have on the in the first name column, which is this John B2 and C2. Then join them together. Then the essence of this space here, this quotation marks and space, is just to add a space in between. That is the space that I have in between the names. Then I use data validation, the one we did last week. Try to get it from there, a list. I use a validation called list to to force this column to only accept male and female. Then in that case, you'll be able to select your value from a list. You can type it actually. If it's not equal to any of these two on the list, there will be an error. So and you can actually select it. Now, I didn't type a date, but I chose I have already make sure that any date that I have here, let me see, let me show you. This is the data validation. I want to make sure that any dates, of course, anybody in the secondary school should be um okay, the Zoom tab is blocking it. And this is the class validated. The class should not be, I want to have a valid class. All right. Then I want to have a score. Okay. Now, when I say tabular data, it means that each row, when you have a data set that is in the tabular form, it means that each row this way must represent a particular observation, and each column must represent a feature, a property of the observation. This is a student, for example. This is John Doe. All right, everything about John and John only is selected. Now, this is the roll number on the register. This is the first name of John. This is his last name. This is his full name. This is his sex, gender or sex. This is date of birth, and this is the class, and this is the score. This is for a subject teacher, and this is the grade A. All right. Okay. So we are going to do the same thing together. Now this is the data. That's what I just showed you now. That is what we are going to be doing together. All right. Assuming I have this. Now I type this, nothing. We just have to type it. We have to enter their names. There is no formula to generate names. Of course, we have to type it. Then, firstly, let me teach you how to generate the full name. What I'm going to do is that this is the formula bar. Let me type it in the formula bar. You can type it directly in the formula bar. And you can also type it in the cell. Okay, in this case, I prefer the formula bar. Concat, CONCAT. All right, and open brackets. I want to concat what I have on the B2 column. Then if you actually click on it, it will type it out for you. Yes, B2 is there. Then a comma, because I want a space in between, comma, then open and close quotes, then put the space in between. Then comma, comma again. Then I want to join it with the last name. That is B2, quotes, space, quotes, C2. Then I close the brackets. Then I have this John Doe. That's how it works. You see, it's concats, join two strings together, add space in between. This is a string because they are characters, they are not numbers. That's why that's a sequence of characters is called string in computer science. All right, then I put this down as usual. Then go all the way down, the way down, the way. Yes, I stop here. Then you see that it's doing the same thing for us for each row. Of course, yes, we can choose to add random birth dates here, but I'm leaving that for now. Then I want to turn this to a table in Excel. Now, I didn't I didn't add this color, this formatting, I didn't add it manually. I didn't add blue, white, blue, white, blue, white. No. What I did was to select the whole data sets by pressing Ctrl plus A on my keyboard. Again, Ctrl plus A on my keyboard. After pressing Ctrl plus A, it will select the whole data. Then I press Ctrl T, Ctrl plus T. Then after pressing Ctrl plus T, then we can see that it's the program is intelligent enough to identify the header, which is the first row. Just click OK. Yes, and we have this as a formatted table. And another thing is that if you try to add a new student, say number 31, by default, is intelligent enough to recognize the pattern. If I add something here, if I add a name here, first name and last name, let's see what will happen. Maybe Adams John. You see that the concatenation is the full name is generated by itself because the data is already in tabular format. Then I select my gender to be okay, Adams male. All right, and I select the class. Maybe it's a big boy, is in SS3. Okay, this course, forget about I generated this course by using random numbers. Yes, let me discuss the random function. This is a random. We have round between. It's a function. It gives you random numbers between a specified range. I use round between 50 and 100. Give me any number between 50 and 100. That is what is happening here. That's why you have random numbers there. All right. Then I want to I want to talk about pivot table before coming back to the grade, which we might be discussing next week. A pivot table is a table to generate summary data. For instance, what we're having on the screen right now, based on the table I showed you previously, based on the table that we generated together right now, I have this. This is students in JSS1. The average score of all the students is 80.75. For all the female, the average score of all the female is 79. Then each student that is a female I'm giving myself female. Each student that is a female is having a score of Buhari is having 56, 93, 88, and the average score is 79. Then there is only one male child in the class having a score of 86. Then the average of the whole class, the average score for the whole class for the whole JSS1 is 80.75. All right. Same also for JS2, for JS3, for SS1, for SS2. Then the grand total for all the averages. So we are going to do the same thing together. Now, for you to have a pivot table, your data must first be in the tabular form this way. Now, if you have your data in the tabular form the way I've done it, then let me do this. All right. Okay. Now, sorry. So when you have your data in the tabular form this way, then, okay, now when you have your data in the tabular form this way, then you go to whenever you are in the table view this way, then there's something called table design up here, it will appear. Then you give your table a name. I don't like table one, so let me give it a name, DSN students. Sorry, what's going on? Am I typing rubbish this evening? DSN, yes, to STUDENTS. All right, kilo shilling. Verify that starts with okay, isn't correct. Starts with a letter or underscore. Doesn't include a space. All right. So a space is not allowed. Okay. Okay. DSN. Yeah. So it means that a space is not allowed in our table. So DSN underscore STUDENTS. All right. Okay. So I have that. Now, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to go to inserts. On the left here, I'm going to have pivot table. All right. Then which table do I want? Okay. I may choose to select the table first, then insert pivot table. Then the table name is selected for me. Yes, I have DSN students. Okay. Then I click on OK. Okay. Sorry. I want it in a new worksheet. Yes. Then whenever you insert a new pivot table in a new worksheet, you are going to have this. Okay, for now, I don't need the formula, but you are going to have this here right now. Nothing is going on. But notice that the superset of the O in a class, we have female and we have male. Now, what I'm going to do is that the first thing I'm going to choose here is class. I want the class to appear and I want the sex to appear and I want the full name to appear. Now,
Hello, Mr. Muiwa.
sir,
Yes, so we have just about 3 more minutes
okay, sir.
before our time will be up. So
All
I
right,
think
sir.
I would just suggest maybe we suspend the pivot table till next week
All
so
right,
that
sir.
the focus of our learning while you just wrap up so that we could pick 1 or 2 questions and then as well as you guide us on the assignment you'll be giving us maybe within the week you drop it in the group. Thank you
Okay,
so
sir.
for everyone. I've also dropped the attendance in the chat so
Okay.
that you fill the attendance. Thank you.
All right, sir. Okay. All right. So I just want to explain that the pivot table is used to generate summary statistics of our students. All right. And today we've discussed tabular data, what's a table, why we need our data to be in the tabular form, even in machine learning, in other field of data science. If a data set is not in the tabular format, we have to clean the data. It is called tidy data. Whenever it is in the tabular format, it is cleaned. It is not messy. All right, so it's the tabular data that enable us to be able to, in fact, you see now, right now, we have GSS1, female and male already summarized for us. All right. Okay, now the assignment we are going to be doing is that we are going to generate a marks book for 50 students. The marks book is going to um indicate the first name, the last name, and the full name using the function concatenation. It's going to indicate the gender. Okay, it's going to indicate the full name, roll number, sex, date of birth, and score. But the assignment now, what you are going to do is that when you have this, you are going to do something like this in tabular format. Then this is grade. it's very difficult for us to start typing the grade A, B, C one by one. Now there is a formula called if statement. See it up here, up above. Now you are going to use Google or other form of documentation to research the use of the if function. This is an example up here. To at least you must have a grade of A, B, C, D, E, and F, depending on your range. I don't know what you are using in your various schools. Maybe 75 and above is A, 60 to 65 is C, 65 to 74 is B, and so forth. So you are going to research you are going to research how to use the if statement to generate grades for yourself. And you are going to end up having something like this on the screen. All right. So when we discuss pivot table next week, you use the same table to generate summary data for your scores. All right. Great. Thank you.
All right, everyone. Thank you so much. I think our tutor deserve a wonderful round of applause. Please let me see the applause, the fire emojis. Let me see the response, a thank you message. This definitely was an awesome session. I think we need to appreciate our tutor. Yes, let's keep appreciating him. Let's keep appreciating. I can see that coming. Yes, so those asking for the recording, this has been, we are actually streaming live. It's been streamed live to our Facebook group, the Facebook community, the Facebook page for AI-enabled teachers. So you can always just go back there and watch it again and again and again. This session, the series we are currently on, it involves a lot of hands-on and practice. Definitely the 1 hour in class will not suffice for all of what you need to know, or all of what for you to be able to catch up with the tutor 100%. So I will advise and encourage each and every one of us to ensure that after now, go back and watch the video, then just practice alongside with the tutor, follow through with the same thing the tutor was doing, so that you can be able to, so that you are able to practicalize. The now few informations that we need to note. Number one, I just dropped again in chat the attendance for today. I just dropped in the chat the attendance link. Please fill up the attendance link. It's very important for everyone on the call. Please fill up the attendance link. In the days ahead, we'll be leveraging it one way or the other. We will share more what we will do with that. So please ensure you fill the attendance. Number two is also the fact that our tutor is also on the 3 WhatsApp group. We have 3 WhatsApp groups for the educator. I don't know if my colleague Oluwabukumi or Toby Loba can please just help me pick up the link for any of the WhatsApp group and drop here for those who may not be part of the group, so that they could also join the group. So our tutor is already added as an admin on the 3 groups. So he will be in the 3 groups as well to pick your questions. Within the week, we shared a few rules just to guide how we'll be engaging in the tutor WhatsApp group. We're going to leave the room open all through this weekend. We'll leave the WhatsApp group open all through this weekend so that the tutor will, the assignment, yes, Joshua Ashkem, I can see your comments on. Could you please assist with that? Yes, the tutor will share the assignment again. Thank you so much, Bukumi. I can see, please, the WhatsApp group link has been shared again, so just click to join. So the tutor will share more, will structure the assignment and share in the 3 WhatsApp group. And then it will also be the WhatsApp group to answer our question. We will leave the groups open all through the weekend from today, from now, so that you could ask your question, comments, and all. It will also be responding to them accordingly. Please, let's maximize and don't let's abuse the group. Some persons will have to be deleting some messages and all. Please, in the long run, we may have to remove you if you don't obey the simple rules in the group. So I think those are few information I want to share. Yes, I want to share. Is there any question quickly? It's already 6:04. We're 4 minutes past the hour of 6, and we promise for 6 p.m. If there's any question, please you can just ask so that we can respond to them very quickly. Mr. Muyiwa, thank you so much again for this awesome session this week.
Thank you, sir.
We believe that we will have we end the class for today. Any question? We will also be sharing if there are opportunities, if there are other learning opportunities. We'll also be sharing a lot in the groups. That's again the more reason why we will want to encourage that each and every one of us, you remain in the WhatsApp group and you engage, so that we can, if there are new learnings, new instructions, new things we need you to know, you can be able to learn that. All right, I think in the absence of any, I want to, okay, sorry, let me just quickly check. Okay, please, where is the recording of the class available? So go to Facebook, and search for AI-enabled teachers of Nigeria, AI-enabled teachers of Nigeria. Let me just type it here so that I'm typing it in chat so that you know what you're searching for, AI-enabled teachers of Nigeria. So I've typed that in chat, so you can go there. That's the community group. You also need to join that group on Facebook. That's where you will see where it was live streamed there, and it's always is there at all time. It was live streamed there, and then you can always access it at every point in time. Yes, attendance, I'm resharing again. I'm just waiting 1-2 minutes because of those who are still filling and clicking. I just dropped the attendance link again. Everybody should please click on that and then just so that you can fill the attendance link. I've also shared the name of the Facebook group, so it's live streamed there. You can watch that, and even the previous 8 weeks masterclass series we had on generative AI for educators. If you were not there then, is also on that group. You can rewatch all of the 8 classes, the 8 sessions in that group. Okay, so I think at this moment, we would want to end this call. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you for your time on the call. Thank you for everyone who stayed till the end. Please encourage your colleagues. You can see we are beginning to move into very, very interesting component of this training, where we'll be carrying out a lot of practical hands-on processes. We are coming to the end of the academic session in our various schools, and for those in the universities, there are various applications. We will be projects and some projects that our tutor will be taking us through. That'll be very, very useful to us. You don't want to miss it. You really don't want to miss this. Tell your other colleagues, let them join during this hour, 5 p.m. every Friday. We're going to ensure that we extend it as much as we can. So we'll keep telling you and sharing updates with you. Even if we need to push beyond the 6 weeks, we'll let you know. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you for your time, and do have a wonderful evening. Thank you.